Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Chaurielle if you're new, and if you're returning, thank you for coming back. America has a lot of issues, but the silent epidemic that's being swept under the rug is obesity. Many factors have contributed to this, including advancements in technology, a rapidly changing American culture to be lazy, and the constant temptation of food on and off of our phones. And with these major culture shifts, our appetites have shifted as well, and for the worst. We have become slaves to our taste buds and have no discipline or limits to our food consumption. And that's why I've titled this video, America Has a Gluttony Issue. And I'll get further into my commentary after my intro. Before I get into depth, I understand that the BMI system is not completely accurate, and genetics and medications can play a part in weight as well. But for the most part, Americans are obese due to their poor diet choices. Since the 60s, obesity in America has tripled. 1 in 5 children are obese. Over 40% of Americans are obese, with 10% of them being morbidly obese. And 70% of Americans are overweight or obese. And the 100% of you that have gotten to this point in the video should check out today's sponsor, which is Ana Luisa. Ana Luisa is a high quality, sustainable jewelry company, and I currently have on their pieces right now. I have on their Vivian earrings, and I also have on their Hudson ring. What I love about Ana Luisa as a company is that all of their jewelry is high quality. It comes in silver, it comes in gold, it comes in mixed metals, and also certain pieces are solid gold. Ana Luisa is the perfect gift for yourself, whether you're trying to expand your jewelry collection or an amazing gift for somebody else, especially with Valentine's Day coming up. You can't go wrong getting somebody a nice high quality jewelry piece. And if you're interested in purchasing Ana Luisa, I have their link in my description box below. What's cool about these Vivian earrings is that they don't have earring backs. They actually open and close and snap once they're inside of your earlobe. At first, I kind of had trouble putting them on, but once I got the hang of it, they're super convenient. Sometimes you lose your earring backs or you have nails, so earring backs can be hard to put on, but this makes it so much easier. I love the dynamic shape of these earrings, and of course I love gold because it complements my skin. And I'm really a diamond studs girl for the most part, but I love these earrings because they're just different and they make my outfit look more put together. And speaking of putting things all together, this Hudson ring is definitely a staple that every girl should have in their jewelry collection. I love how unique this ring is, and it's really eye-catching. And another amazing quality about Ana Luisa jewelry is that it's hypoallergenic. It does not tarnish, so you can wash your hands in your jewelry, you can swim in your jewelry, and you can take showers in your jewelry, and it will be perfectly fine. And all orders in the US have free shipping. And we love free shipping over here. We love to save our money. And another amazing thing about this company is that any jewelry piece you buy from them comes with a 2-year warranty. You really cannot beat that. The prices are great, especially because you'll have these pieces for years to come. And if you're into style like me, having the right jewelry can really make or break an outfit. Definitely invest in Ana Luisa. You will not be disappointed. So statistics aside, it's not the love of food that has gotten us here, because I personally love food. I feel like there's nothing wrong with enjoying food, but it's the fact that we no longer have self-control and we have normalized gluttony because of that. And I have 3 main talking points that I'm going to address in this video. The first reason we've gotten to this point of gluttony is because of the media. From my 600-pound life to all of these mukbangs all over social media and these concerning food concoctions that people are creating, like candied Chipotle burritos, things have gotten out of control. We've become desensitized to how big we're actually becoming, and not only that, we've become desensitized to how greedy we've become, because gluttony does not have to do with just weight. anybody can be a glutton, whether you're skinny, regular sized, or you're large.
Was once a fringe hobby into a food empire, and she's just getting started.
Please welcome YouTube superstar, mukbang legend, Bethany Gaskin!
Even with traditional entertainment, we've always had bigger public figures like the Notorious B.I.G. or Big Pun. But now we have rappers on oxygen tanks performing in front of sold-out crowds on couches. This is gluttony. I couldn't imagine this being acceptable in the media even 15 years ago. And what's considered thick today was considered big a decade ago, and what's considered big today was considered huge a decade ago. I'm not saying the media was perfect in the past, because it wasn't. It definitely had stints where it was unhealthy and only pushed being skinny, which is wrong, because everybody has different body types and you shouldn't be outcasted based on your body type. But there was a more sensible scale of how big a person should be and how much food you should consume. And now more than ever before, not only do you get attention for being a glutton, you get compensation for it. And one of the biggest gluttons that got famous in America on social media is Nikocado Avocado. He got so enormous that people were no longer watching how much food he could consume in his mukbangs, but they were watching to see if he would end up eating himself too. He got so enormous to the point where it looked like he couldn't walk anymore or function, but people kept watching. His views were super high and he was getting paid big bucks for this. And he ended up turning his life around and losing a lot of weight, but he was really eating thousands of calories for other people's entertainment, but to the detriment of his own health. Another example of this, of someone else who rose to fame due to their gluttony, was Jellybean Sweets. She was a really adorable girl that would do dances on TikTok, but then it turned into her eating really fatty, nasty foods. And I honestly can't watch her videos or the videos she used to post because of all the sounds. I don't like hearing people eat, but it was to the point where it was truly gluttony. She would have cane sauce filled up in these containers and just drown her food in these fatty condiments.
Let's see how much calories Jellybean Sweets is consuming daily that caused her rapid weight gain. The end result is very concerning. Now, Jellybean starts off with a mukbang of canes. She starts off with a 3 chicken finger combo at a 1,020 calories. She also has cane sauce, which a small container is 190 calories. But instead, she has a whole drink cup container full of cane sauce, and even drinks the whole cup, which is about 1,000 calories. She also eats a Cane's chicken sandwich, which is 780 calories. And she ends the mukbang with the extra side of fries at 390 calories. Now this gives a grand total of 3,190 calories. Now to put it in perspective, an average female daily calorie intake should be about 2,000 calories.
She would drink an entire Mountain Dew without barely breathing. This is literally her getting famous from gluttony, because once she saw how many views and how much attention she was getting, she kept doing it to the point of where within a year's time, she's gained a lot of weight, especially for her age, because she's only 20 years old. And now she's back to dancing and slowing down on the food so she can become healthy again. And there's even trends on TikTok like what I've eaten in a day, where people show these huge amounts of food, especially fast food and highly processed foods that they've consumed, which is really way above the caloric diet that's even healthy for a human being. But because they're getting views and attention, they're eating and eating and eating every day in hopes of getting paid and being relevant. And besides the new entertainment factor that has developed on social media of being a glutton, we also have shows like 1,000 Pound Best Friend.
Scale. No scales for me.
You have to lose weight or you're gonna die. Oh, you told me the same thing. I'm done. I'm done. Do not follow me with that camera right now, and I mean it.
Or like I mentioned previously, My 600-Pound Life. And it seems harmless to watch this type of media, but it's actually scary, because when you consciously consume this type of subject matter, whether you're judging them, you're indifferent about it or you're empathizing with them, it subconsciously changes your standards of yourself and for others. So say for instance, you're judging them. You're like, oh my God, they eat so much, they can't even get out of bed. I may not be healthy and I might not be the size that I want to be, but at least I don't look like that. That's what I'm talking about, is changing the standard, because it's like, yeah, I could be better, I could be smaller, more fit, but I'm not 600 pounds. Or it can be on the flip side where you're empathizing, like, oh my gosh, how did they get that big? Do they have a mental health disorder? Can somebody help them? And regardless, you're still seeing somebody that big and multiple people that big when no one should ever be that big. Watching TV shows like this skews your perception of what's an acceptable weight, what food portions are appropriate, and it also justifies if you're not living a healthy lifestyle or as healthy as you could be, because you're not as bad as they are. People are also falling victim to food concoctions that they're seeing online that really shouldn't ever be consumed and should not be shared to millions of people, like deep frying butter.
Today we're making healthy and homemade deep fried butter sticks. Today we're going to be using rice flour and a raw stick of butter. We'll be cooking all of that in butter. First step is to start making the batter. Coat the butter in all of the batter and make sure you cover all parts of this. Guys, look at that crust. Give it a nice flip. So delicious. And you'll know it's done when it's nice and golden brown like that, guys. Make sure you have your melted butter dip. And oh, here's the final product. Oh, guys, it is so good. Oh my gosh, I love this.
Only in America. I've seen it be a trend where people are covering real fruit with Jolly Ranchers. And it's like, fruit is already sweet. It doesn't need to be covered in a candy that's made out of pure corn syrup with a bunch of dyes. This is how you know our entire palate has been mutated and changed for the worse, because we're craving things that are just not natural, that are just repulsive at this point. And a big part of that is fast food. I've seen the weirdest things sold by these fast food companies, like mac and Cheetos. Cheetos are already processed. Mac and cheese from a fast food place is already processed. And to think to combine that and that people would find that appetizing and buy it and eat it for them and their children, that's a sad state that they would even put that out, because they know how bad gluttony has gotten, that they can get away with this and make possibly millions off of it. And this is honestly all normal to us now, because we've gradually gotten to this point because of what we've exposed ourselves, our taste buds, our bloodstream, what we've exposed ourselves to. And now our body is craving these type of things that really shouldn't be eaten. And what makes things worse is how easily we're able to order food through these food delivery services that we're always reminded of via the media, whether it's social media or ads on billboards. We're always being shown Uber Eats, DoorDash, all the other ones that they have. I can't even remember them all, but we're always being reminded of food or to order food. The second reason why we've gotten to this point of gluttony is because of the hypersensitive American culture. In a nutshell, this new American culture has become a cookless society and an active society and a hypersensitive society. Using the term fat to describe somebody is now frowned upon and looked upon as a derogatory term. And I don't believe you should use the word fat to bully somebody. But if somebody is literally morbidly obese or they have a super high body fat percentage, then they technically are fat. But you will get ostracized if you call somebody fat, unless you're a kid. Only kids can get away with that because they're innocent and they tell the truth. But even a kid will be corrected and get in trouble for using that description for somebody. We now, as an American society, have to pander to the obese police, or else we're fat shaming or we're bullies. It has created this new environment fueled by feminism, where there are overweight mannequins in gym sets in stores now. Women don't have to cook, so processed food it is. And the government is funding fat-phobic experts like Virgie Tovar in San Francisco.
If you're like many women, you've been to a birthday party or a small office gathering, an event that's meant to bring people together. And then it comes time to cut the cake, and someone decides to ruin everything.
Oh my God, that slice is huge. Can you cut me half of that?
A cake-related fatphobic incident, or CRFI, is that moment when it's time to eat delicious cake and it's interrupted by a moralizing impulse. Inevitably, there's always someone at the party who has to declare publicly that their slice is too large, and that the person who's cutting the cake, almost invariably a woman, must do some disproportionate amount of labor in order to accommodate their need to feel superior.
Such honorable and hard work that she's doing for the American people. This is gluttony. But let's touch on being a cookless society and how that ultimately leads to gluttony. Modern feminism in America has made it seem as if cooking is traditional, outdated, and beneath the working woman. This affects not only the woman, but if she has a partner, this affects her partner. And if she has children, this affects her entire family. When you don't cook, you're more prone to buy instant or processed foods. You're more prone to eat fast food, and you're more prone to eat food from restaurants. These foods are often pumped with steroids. They have antibiotics, corn syrups, MSG, preservatives, and an entire plethora of other things that are terrible for your body, and they negatively can affect your metabolism, so the weight will start to pile on. A lot of these junk foods and fast foods are literally engineered to be addictive. So not only do you crave these bad things, you're now eating more and you're gaining weight. And with the convenience of these processed instant foods and fast foods, we no longer have the patience to wait for a home cooked meal to be completed. And we've become so far gone that somebody like Nara Smith has become an internet phenomenon, not because of her being a gorgeous model, but because she makes food from scratch. And that's honestly becoming a lost art. When you don't cook, you don't know what's truly in your food that you and your possible family are consuming. You steer away from whole foods that are actually good for you, and you eat junk. And this alters your brain chemistry and your appetite, which can cause you to be a glutton. And like I've said before, it has nothing to do with size when it comes to gluttony. A smaller person can be a glutton as well as a big person, but eating these bad foods will lead you to be bigger. And because you're eating all this junk and your body is now craving it, we as Americans no longer eat for fuel. We eat for pleasure. We eat because it tastes good, and those foods are usually terrible for you. And this more modern American diet, where people are no longer cooking and just eating instant things, usually leads to us being fatigued and unmotivated, and that's how we have become an inactive society. And now we're raising tablet children that don't play outside and eat 1,000 calorie cookies, and we have a bunch of adults, whether married with a partner or single, that binge watch on their favorite streaming program instead of being active as well. And there's nothing wrong with enjoying yourselves and winding down, decompressing, but we're to the point where we don't get up. We watch everything on our phone, on a tablet or a laptop. We're eating, sitting down or laying down, and just resting most of our lives now. We're now addicted to scrolling, and we're addicted to food. And now that we've become food and phone addicts, you get out of shape. And what do you do when you get out of shape? You're sad about it. So we're in this cycle of, I don't like how I look, I'm unhappy, I'm going to eat again. So now it's just not chemically you're addicted to food, but it's your emotional crutch. Food is now your emotional crutch. And now, because a lot of us are unhappy with our bodies, but we're unwilling to change, we now want everybody to coddle us and not speak about how we truly look physically.
Fun fact, the H in HAES actually stands for health. I know it can be very confusing. It's the wild notion that you can pursue health promoting behaviors without being a certain size or needing to achieve a certain size. And yes, there are elements of personal responsibility and choice, just like anything else we opt to do with our lives. That rigorous workout routine you're doing in your 20s may land you with arthritis in your 50s. And I won't even get into the social determinants of health, but there are endless extrinsic factors that come into play here too. I'm an exercise physiologist. Health means a million different things to a million different people, is a privilege to pursue, and doesn't make you a better person if you do pursue it.
If anyone says something about us being overweight. They're shaming us, they're the problem, and they need to be educated by a fatphobic expert like Virgie Tovar. And that brings me to my third and final point, which is it's time for us to change. Completely disposing of quote-unquote traditional views and values has us rejecting things that logically make sense, like striving to be smaller, not skinny, but a healthy size, and having a more fit physique, not a perfect physique, a more fit physique. We've gone away with being conscious of our portions. We've stopped cooking, and especially we stopped cooking from scratch. We don't grow our own food or even try to grow an herb in a windowsill in a small little pot. That's possible. We don't fast to reset our body or for religious purposes. And we definitely don't exercise. And we definitely don't say no to ourselves. It's become one of the biggest things nowadays is to say treat yourself. And a lot of the times people are talking about with food. And that's where you develop the habit of having no self-control, which can ultimately spiral into being a glutton. We need to stop watching videos and media that have to do with gluttony, and we need to start educating ourselves with videos and other forms of media that educate us on what real food is and how portion sizes should be again, especially for our children. And the biggest thing that we need to stop doing as Americans, because most of us are lazy, is relying on surgeries and things like Ozempic as a backup plan if we get too big for our liking. We always want quick fixes, but sometimes those things are not sustainable, and we'll get right back to being that bigger size because we took shortcuts. We really need to start implementing just picking better diet choices and exercising, being active to some degree, and implementing that into our lifestyle. The way you show self-love and self-care is through caring for your body, not telling people don't call me fat or don't shame me. Because honestly, when you tell somebody that they're a little too big, it's from love because we want you to be healthier. It's some people are bullies and some people do hate. But when someone sees you and they're like, ooh, they have a visceral reaction, there's some changes you need to make. It is what it is. People are too big, especially at younger and younger ages. Food should not control your life. Food should not be the sole reason you're on any medication. Food should not be the sole reason you have type 2 diabetes or any other food-related disease and that you might have to lose a limb for food. That's crazy. Food should not be the reason you're prematurely handicapped because you can't stop eating and eating bad things. This is honestly, it's insane. Food is not worth you not achieving your true goals or looking your best. Being a glutton will cost you with your financial success. It can cost you success with your love life. And the biggest one is cost you your health. Food is not worth losing your health because sometimes when you lose your health, you can't get it back. And when you don't have your health, you really almost don't have anything. America, it's time for us to get a grip and stop being gluttons. And I wanted to shout out Ana Luisa one more time because I love their jewelry and I really want you guys to check them out. The link is in my description box below, and by supporting them, you're supporting me, and I'd really appreciate that. Ana Luisa has so many beautiful styles that you'll definitely find something for yourself or for somebody you care about, and all US orders come with free shipping. All of the jewelry is hypoallergenic and it does not tarnish. Trust me, you will not be disappointed. So if you liked my video, give me a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more from me, subscribe to my channel. Share this with your friends. Thank you for watching. You are appreciated.